For centuries, the mighty Byzantine Empire, the successor to Rome, defended its glittering capital, Constantinople, with a terrifying and enigmatic weapon, sprayed from ships through bronze tubes. This wasn't just any fire. It was Greek fire liquid incendiary that would ignite on contact, could not be extinguished by water, and struck terror into the hearts of their enemies. The recipe for this ancient superweapon was a state secret so closely guarded that when the empire finally fell, the knowledge of how to create it was lost forever. This is the incredible story of a technological marvel, a strategic game-changer, and one of history's greatest unsolved chemical mysteries. Our story begins in the 7th century AD, with the Byzantine Empire, the continuation of the Roman Empire in the East, facing its gravest threats. Its capital, Constantinople, a city of unparalleled wealth, culture, and strategic importance, was a jewel coveted by every rising power. But its very splendor made it a target. From the east and south, the burgeoning power of the Arab caliphates, fueled by the fervor of Islam, launched relentless invasions, carving away vast swathes of Byzantine territory from the north. Slavic and Bulgar tribes pressed against their borders. The empire was fighting for its very survival, often outnumbered and outmatched. Constantinople itself, protected by its formidable land walls and the natural harbor of the Golden Horn, was a constant magnet for besieging armies. Naval attacks were particularly dangerous, threatening to cut off supply lines and overwhelm the city's defenses from the sea. The Byzantines needed an edge, a technological marvel that could level the playing field against overwhelming odds. They were searching for a weapon, not just to defend their borders, but to project power, to instill terror, and to ensure the survival of their civilization against an array of powerful and persistent enemies. They found it in a devastating liquid. The origins of Greek fire are shrouded in secrecy and legend, as befitted such a potent weapon. The most widely accepted account attributes its invention to a Syrian engineer named Callinicus of Heliopolis, who fled to Constantinople in the mid-7th century. He brought with him a formula for a liquid, incendiary, that would change the course of history. What exactly was this miraculous substance? The precise recipe was a state secret, protected by successive emperors for centuries. But based on historical accounts and modern chemical analysis, we can infer some likely ingredients. Most scholars agree that it was a complex mixture, likely containing naphtha, a petroleum-like substance, quicklime, calcium oxide, sulfur, and perhaps resins or other sticky compounds to help it adhere to targets. Naphtha would have provided the highly flammable base. Quicklime is a fascinating ingredient. When it comes into contact with water, it produces intense heat. This exothermic reaction could have been the secret to Greek fire's terrifying ability to ignite on contact with water or even burn more fiercely when doused. The sticky resins would have ensured the flaming liquid adhered to enemy ships and personnel, making it incredibly difficult to remove or extinguish. The Byzantines were masters of chemical warfare for their time, and Greek fire was their magnum opus, a truly impossible weapon that weaponized the very element. their enemies used to fight conventional fire. The formula for Greek fire was a meticulously guarded secret, passed down through generations of emperors and engineers. But how was this terrifying liquid actually deployed in battle? And what impact did it have on the fate of the Byzantine Empire? If this astonishing story of ancient superweapons has captured your imagination, I invite you to consider subscribing to the Dusty Codex. Your support is essential in helping us bring these profound histories to light. Before we delve into the battles where Greek fire unleashed its fury, I'm curious, what do you think was the most ingenious aspect of Greek fire, its chemical composition, or its delivery system? Let me know in the quiet comments section below. Knowing the formula was only half the battle. The Byzantines developed a sophisticated delivery system to weaponize Greek fire. Mounted on the bows of their warships, known as dromons, were large bronze tubes or nozzles called siphones. These weren't simple flamethrowers. They were complex pneumatic or hydraulic devices, utilizing pressurized air pumps or perhaps even a primitive form of steam power. The siphones could project a powerful, continuous jet of flaming liquid across considerable distances. It was a terrifying sight, a stream of fire emerging from the mouth of a dragon that could set enemy ships ablaze in an instant. The psychological impact of Greek fire was immense. Imagine seeing liquid fire projected towards you, knowing it cannot be extinguished by water. Enemy sailors would leap into the sea, only to find the flames spreading across the surface, trapping them in a fiery inferno. It was a weapon designed not just for destruction, but for utter psychological demoralization. Its unique properties gave the Byzantine navy an unprecedented advantage, turning the tide in numerous naval engagements and effectively rendering many conventional siege tactics useless. Against the walls of Constantinople from the sea, the fire that burned on water secured the empire's survival for centuries. The 7th and 8th centuries were pivotal for the Byzantine Empire, marked by massive Arab sieges of Constantinople that threatened to erase the last vestiges of Roman power. In both instances, Greek fire proved to be the decisive factor. During the First Arab Siege 674 to 678 AD, a huge Umayyad fleet besieged the city for 4 years. The Byzantine navy, equipped with Greek fire, repeatedly broke the Arab blockade, turning the Golden Horn into a fiery trap. The sheer terror and destructive power of the liquid flame shattered the morale of the Arab sailors, forcing them to retreat in disarray and suffer catastrophic losses. Decades later, during the Second Arab Siege 717 to 718 AD, an even larger Umayyad force, both land and sea, once again attempted to conquer Constantinople. Once more, Greek fire played a critical role. The Byzantine fleet, led by Emperor Leo III, unleashed its secret weapon, decimating the Arab navy and forcing a complete retreat. These victories were not just tactical successes, they were existential triumphs. Greek fire bought the Byzantine Empire centuries of continued existence, allowing it to act as a crucial buffer between the burgeoning powers of the East and the fragmented kingdoms of Western Europe. It was a weapon that literally saved a civilization. The recipe for Greek fire was perhaps the most closely guarded state secret in history. It was only known to a select few, passed down from emperor to emperor, and to a small circle of trusted engineers and chemists. This extreme secrecy was its strength, but ultimately its undoing. When Constantinople finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453, the Byzantine Empire ceased to exist. With it, the direct lineage of knowledge was severed, despite countless attempts by historians, chemists, and military scientists. The precise formula for Greek fire has never been definitively recreated. Modern attempts have produced various incendiary mixtures, but none perfectly match all the described properties.